We're here with 3 powerhouses in the lean sector.
Some people saved money, made more profit. Recently, we've had a company who saved 8 weeks of production time.
We need to put them in the best position to survive, be flexible, be productive, be agile.
There's no substitute for direct observation. To see the turnaround of his company is just mind-blowing.
Tools and technique, that's the easy, but it's getting your leaders engaged, motivated, and being able to sustain it. That's the real challenge.
Tools and techniques, that's the easy bit. It's getting your leaders engaged, motivated, and able to sustain it. That's your real challenge. Today's topic is any half-wit with a cap and a whistle can call themselves a coach. All kicked off from this video I'm going to play right now. Paul Doherty, I love this bloke. He's awesome. Watch this.
Right, Tuesday morning, let's have you. Daily dose of docs bullshit. This week, I've got one that's it's not controversial, it's not coming at people or hating on people, because I'm not a hater. But business coaches, what the fuck's going on there? I get at least...
Maybe it's to do with Ted Lasso, Paul. Maybe he's the problem that's kicked all this off.
At least 3 messages a week from some sort of business coach that tells me, usually in the first line, he's getting double my revenue, double my business, you know, the usual score. I don't understand how people know that. They don't even know my revenue. They don't know how much I'm running. They don't know anything about my business. And then I just went and looked at one profile this morning after promising it. The guy was working in Coles 6 months ago. How's he doubling my business? Double your own business, mate. Right?
He's trying to double his own business, Paul. You just won't give him a fucking crack. That's what he's doing. All right, let's crack. Sorry, let's fuck. Hang on, let me kill that for a minute. Let's crack on with what we want to do here. My wife will kill me if I leave her picture up there. So let's go back, find Boney's profile, see what he's been talking about recently, and we'll leave him stand up there instead. All right, this is the one that we're doing. Any half-wit with a whistle and a cap can call themselves a coach. Very few can or have actually reset a project. I read Paul Doherty's post this morning, nailed it. There's a coach explosion happening right now. As I said, maybe the issue is, maybe it's because of Ted Lasso. Who knows? Coach can give you advice. We're going to actually speak to what a good coach is in a minute. I'm going to read you a quote by a legendary coach. I will tell you what a good coach actually is. A wingman keeps you alive, catalyst removes the roadblock and gets the team moving. I'll explain to you why I talk to both of those. On real projects, advice isn't the problem, execution is. As Les Brown says, if information was all you needed, then everybody would be skinny, rich and happy. Now, I'm just going to drop that out when I'll put that back in, because we're going to run an Instagram video in a minute. We'll put it back on. All right, so I'm going to run through who this is for, get the most benefit out of it. We're going to show you how much difference it'll make by picking the right coach. If you don't have a coach, or if you do have a coach and you want to make sure that you've got the right one, ask them these questions. Coaches are going to fucking hate me after this, but anyway, that's all right. I'm not here to be liked. I've got enough mates already. I'm going to show you where having a good coach makes a real impact, when it does, how it does, and why it works. Okay, so those who don't know me, we haven't seen any of my stuff before, and been to the Troublemaker coach. Troublemaker is a smart person with strong contrary opinions. They get branded as troublemakers, and we need them because they're the ones that help us gain traction and progress. I'm tipping, I love Paul Doherty. I reckon, I'm hoping sometime I'm going to work with him. I believe he would be a troublemaker. Anyway, they generally make videos like that. It's awesome. I love it. I'm programming at the moment, go align your team before Christmas. It's if you have tried an agile practice before and it's failed. Hired a consultant before, it didn't really stick. You worked with a coach before and it didn't work out, or if you're working with a coach and it's just not happening. You're ready to go now? Then there's 2 spots left. I've got the 16th and 18th. I've got 2 sessions left there. head across to ambitioustarget.com. This will work for anyone who wants to align their teams. If you want to do what Patrick Lencioni said in the 5 dysfunctions of a team, if you get everyone in an organisation heading in the same direction, you can dominate any market under any conditions at any time. Same thing with the project. Right, let's have a look. Actually, I'm going to this quote here. A coach. What is a coach? We've got to set everything that we do. Now, when we set a project, we set a baseline to see what we want to achieve. What do we need to? Where do we need to be at as a minimum? Need to set the same thing with a coach. We need to set the baseline up to go. I have technical issues here. Anyone that's ever watched my live streams before will go, that's no fucking. What's the name? That you're having technical issues. That's no surprise. So we're going to play this into the video. A coach, keep this in mind. This is the first piece of the puzzle that you need to work out when you're getting a coach, right? A coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you could be. Tom Laundrie. He is a legendary coach. If you don't know him, go and Google him and have a look and see. He was an NFL coach, right? Paulie did some really good, I don't know if it would land, but his coaching was actually quite good there at the start, because he's telling that bloke, fuck's sake, mate, you're working at Coles 6 months ago, you've come straight at me with, I'm going to double your business. And like, if you're going to double someone's business, what if they're in trouble already? They're running a shit show. They've got 1 to 3 levels of shit show going on here. If you double what they're already doing, just guess what? You're going to have just an even bigger, double the size shit show. So he's told him what he doesn't want to hear. Stop coming with messages like that. Go and get some actual real world experience before you come and try and tell me what to do. Who has you see what you don't want to see? They should be able to see that. If they've watched that video, they should be able to see what he's told him. So it could be, that guy might be really good. He might be exceptional. But he's not in the position yet to be, well, I doubt it because of the way that he's approaching people on social media. He obviously doesn't have any idea what he's done, how to go about it, how to make a connection, how to generate business. And if that's his way of generating business, as Paul says, how are you going to fucking teach me to do what I do better when you can't do what you do well yourself? Again, we're going to blame Ted Lasso. All right. Number 1 red flag that you've got a coach who's talk about in Good to Great, the book Good to Great. Good is the enemy of great. What good really is average. There's a lot of coaches around that still do this. They're stuck in 1980s and they're still measuring outcomes. Let's see what a great coach has to say about outcomes.
As the most important.
Hang on.
Focusing on the process of what you have to do to get the outcome is the most important thing you need to do. Outcomes are a distraction. Focusing on the process of what you have to do to get the outcome is the most important thing you need to do.
Let that sink in. Outcomes are a distraction. Focus on the output, the process of what you need to do to drive the outcome is what you need to do. Fairly freaking simple. Actually, we'll throw an instruction school back up on here. There we go. All right. So we played that little video for you. We know that what a good coach does. A good coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you could be. Don't focus on outcome. Most coaches come at you with, heard it at the start, tools and techniques are not the issue here, right? That's the easy part. They'll come at you with, I need a to-do list, because that's an easy one. I'll tell you what a to-do list is. To-do list is a really good way to keep yourself exceptionally busy and feeling like you're making momentum on a bunch of tasks that have no real value or impact on your business, growing or scaling your business. They sit in one of these two categories here. They keep you focused on these tasks here, which are out of the book 80-20 sales and marketing, $10 per hour tasks and $100 per hour tasks. To-do lists are really fucking good at that because they don't eliminate first. I've got a video, if you want to have a look at it, I did a video on, once you watch this, you'll never use your to-do list the same way again, which is we talk about what can we eliminate, what's the value of the task before it even goes on list, and the list should never have more than 3 tasks on it in any given day. They'll talk about techniques on a W business. We'll do this on social media. Hacks. Follow this simple fucking hack and everything will be wonderful. They focused on short-term stuff. Double revenue was what he just spoke to before. They come straight in with, I'll help you double your revenue. As he said, how do you even know what my revenue is? More businesses, as Keith Cunningham says in The Road Less Stupid, die of indigestion than starvation. Mean that they're trying to take on too much rather than not have enough business. Double your revenue, if he's already got a shit show down here, and we double the revenue, we get twice the size of a shit show. Stop talking about revenue. We're not worried about revenue. What we're worried about is profit. How can we reduce the revenue level that we're currently at? How can we double the profit with the same resources? That's something that a good coach will help you do. They've already proven, there's been studies on this, where CEOs get into strife and end up in fraudulent cases and stuff like that. It's usually because their KPIs are revenue driven. They take the shortcut to the outcome, the effect. Oh, sorry, I've gotten this drawn the wrong way around. Outcome is the effect. Output is the cause. What we need to focus on is output. What's going to cause the effect that we want, instead of just going, oh, we need to double revenue, or we need to double business. Again, does he need to double business? Maybe doesn't want to double his business. Maybe he's got little kids. Maybe he's doing enough fucking hours already. What he really needs is more profit. All right, so output. What are we focused on instead? So output focuses on this side of the equation, $4 per hour. I focus on 3 key things that I do when I work with people that I do exceptionally fucking well, because that's what I do. I focus my attention on planning and prioritizing. More commonly known, it's project management. I like to call it project delivery. I think we've got it completely wrong with project management, which is half the reason why projects fail all the time. Social video, like I'm doing right now. Perry calls doing social media with extreme competence. This is very rare, $1,000 per hour task. Planning and prioritising your day, he calls that $1,000 per hour task. Notice he doesn't just say plan your day, he says plan and prioritise. Prioritise means we don't use a fucking to-do list. It means we use a not to-do list. What are we going to get rid of? What's sitting in this side here that are AI, I look at it from the, what do I call it? The hierarchy of control. I'll pinch that. First thing, look at a task. Can we eliminate it? Nope. Can we automate it? Is it AI or something like that can do it? Nope. Can we create a process so it's repeatable and easy? And then can we test and train someone, hand it off? Temp-based leadership. We'll focus on the outputs. What process can we put in place? Let's focus on getting a flex planning session done every morning. That means that we're working on the right things. That's a cause that will create the effect of doubling revenue. Let's focus on ORCA, which is our process improvement loop. That will drive extra profit. Theory constraint. Where's the constraint in the system? The business can only move as fast as its slowest area. How are you going to double revenue when you don't even know where the constraint in the business is? How are you going to tell someone that they're going to double their revenue straight up? As I say, do they even need double revenue? Well, it really needs more profit, not more revenue. Scrum, 2-second lean, all improvement process. Focus on the process. That's what that coach was talking about first. How are we creating autonomy so that we don't become the constraint in the system, the owner of the business, the CEO, the EGM, whatever it is? How are we removing waste so we can 10x the resources that we currently got and scale. I'll let you decide which sort of coach that you want. All right, what we need to do is work out, can we go? What we need to do is work out what sort of shit show you're running. This is a bit here, right? Coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear. You're not going to want to hear this. As you see what you don't want to see, you're not going to want to see what I'm about to show you. So you can always be who, I've wrote that the wrong way around, no, fuck, get thrown out every time. Right? So you can be who you have always known you could be. You can work out what level of shit show is. So I talked before about a baseline. Actually, I'm going to show this video. So we need to create a baseline of what great looks like. If we're going to talk about great and flawless up in this corner here, what does that actually look like? Let me get Paul Doherty that's here right now.
The world is dysfunctional. Organizations are highly dysfunctional. And those people that do lean correctly, no one can touch them. The differential is not, 50%, 100%, it's 600%. They dwarf everyone.
Differential. When you do this right, Paul does this process here called 2-second lean, which is one of what I call the keystone habit for building all of this on top. The differential is 600% different. If you're not 6x better than industry average, you're not up in the great column. Fighter pilots call it flawless execution. 99% of their missions, they execute flawlessly. Not perfectly, flawlessly. Meaning they know what the mission is and they get it done. Down here, if you're not up there doing that, you've got, and you would have heard of all these, this is technical terms for shit shows, right? So you got a bit of a shit show. Not too bad, but it's a bit of a shit show. People are running around chaotically. You got a real shit show. Been on a few of those. And down the bottom, level 3, you got a complete and utter shit show. There's actually a 4th level, which I haven't put here, which is a cluster rhymes with duck. Okay, then you're in real trouble when you get that one. Coach is showing you, hey man, this is a bit of a shit show. Well, this is a real shit show. What we need to do is create an interface. What I'm doing here with social video at the moment is an interface. When you get an interface, get your people doing experimentation, little experiments, not talking big, expensive things here. We need to help them create some autonomy. Okay? We need to start using the social platforms properly, get leverage out of those. We need to be able to create community and crowd so that you are building a brand, not a commodity. My mentor told me, don't have a brand, you're a commodity. On your commodity, price is your only master. You need to be using leverage assets. It's not buying 10 cars and everything else. Stop going and building a website, spending $25,000, $30,000 on a website straight up. We can use a platform that I use here called School, skool.com. $9 a month US. It's going to do everything that we need to do to be able to do this. And you need to start getting some engagement out of your people. Most of these guys here have never ever been on. Might have been working at Carl's fucking 6 months ago, like Paulie was talking about. Never been on or delivered a project. I've been doing it since I started my apprenticeship when I was 15. There's a picture of me trailing on a slab when I was about 12 or 14 months old. I was a tradesman when I was 19. I was a leading hand before I was 20. But 21, I was running site crews by myself, my own projects, go out and run them. Not big ones, little projects. 25, I was running construction projects as a supervisor on bigger projects. It was a smelter expansion, was the first one I started running. I was running workshops when I was 24. 30, I was a superintendent. 30 to 50, I sort of stalled a bit. I got too comfortable, I stayed in that superintendent part, and now I've stepped up into the CM, PM roles. Okay? Good coach knows that you need to be able to create flow. we're going to build a project. There's all these things that need to happen together at the same speed to make sure that we deliver this project properly. We've got a biz dev guys first. He's got to have a constant flow of inquiries coming through for us. Finance and contracts have got to do their bit. Pre-delivery needs to do their bit. Mobilisation's got to get their bit. Then we can actually deliver this thing. Get people on site and deliver it. I use a platform called School to run a lot of this. You could also do it in Teams. Using video as an interface to get all of these people working in sequence together. Little tip on Teams, once your meetings start to get past 4 to 6 people, you get too many people in the room, you go back to the old 2 pizza rule by Jeff Bezos. You start getting too many people, meetings start to turn into that level 4, cluster, you know what. Only get the people in the room that need to be in the room for the key people, key players. But finance might want to know what projects are doing, what pre-delivery are doing, and mobilisation are doing. Let them sit in on Teams. Run it like a webinar. Hey guys, don't cut in over the top. We've got 4 or 6 people in the room. They're going to do the discussions. Here's the agenda. Here's how we're running today's meeting. At these points, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, 60. We're going to stop and give you 5 minutes. Any questions that you have as we go through this, we're going to mute you. Any questions, drop them in the chat to the side. Because you've got Copilot and all the rest of it. It transcribes, takes the notes. It makes sure that we don't miss anything. Then you can ask your questions, and then we'll move on to the next section. That's a little tip, hack, an output, process that will help you run this even better. All right. Good coach will have you practicing, doing deliberate, what they call deliberate practice, which is, or All Blacks call it practice under pressure in the book Legacy. We need to be doing this every way. We build a flywheel like this that is a continuous improvement loop. We do this every day, and every time we go around this flywheel, you get better and better and better and better and better at doing it. What it does is eliminate wasted employee genius. It's built on what Keith Cunningham calls the 3 pillars of success. So plan your day before you start. We use the flex process for that from fighter pilots. Pillar 2, measurable outputs. What outputs are we going to measure? We need to do a flex every day. We need to do an orca every day. In here, inside construction school, and this is one of the key reasons that I use this platform, is we want to know what our engagement is like. Let's go and have a look at it. Beanies. See that little activity thing there? I can hover over each day there. The ones that are greener, so the 14 activities I did on school on November the 24th. We can see how engaged people are. Measuring an output that's going to drive the outcome. That's what a real coach does. Measurable outputs. Pillar 3, we debrief at the end of every day. Objective. What was the objective today? What was the mission? What were the results? What were the causes? What were the actions? That's a measurable output. That's a process that you can improve each time you do it. Supercharge it with AI. If you haven't seen me, I do a session. I'm currently at day 10 today, or a debrief with AI. I use ChatGPT to run me through the debrief. If you want to watch one of those, just comment the words daily debrief or daily orca session, something like that. I'll flick you the videos that are here on LinkedIn and they're on YouTube as well. Excuse me, need a quick drink. Why this works. What happens is, really good coach gets a whole team performing, not 1 or 2 players. The team owns the plan and the outcome because of the process that we work them through. We use incremental actions and they drive 10x results. Everyone in the business can focus on help us double the revenue or double the profit through the right causes, using the right processes. We reward this, reward effort at executing this, right causes, the output will give us the effect. That cause will give us the effect that we want. It's simple. Must be simple. Dr. Eli Goldratt told us that. It follows the great process, which is get to the gemba, should work front, make it recognisable. That's easy to recognise, easy to do. Anyone can use school or do any of these things that I'm speaking to. This needs some coaching through the process. Available at the point of use, and they need to be tested and trained. It eliminates the 8th waste, which is unused employee potential. And it creates focus. Everyone here, instead of everyone working in their own little silos and worrying about their own little bits, they start to see how they fit into the big picture and what the effect is going to be if they don't do what they're supposed to do in the time frame that they're supposed to do it in. But we planned it with them. We've given them input. We don't just go and say, you fucking finance blokes need to have that ready by the end of next week. Maybe there's a constraint in the system that won't let them have it ready by the end of next week. We bring them along during the planning process. A good coach, someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you could be. Good coach is also a good wingman. He's got your back, helps you create alignment, helps you avoid the traps, because he's been there, done it before. It wasn't working at Coles 6 months ago. Oh, I should stop taking the piss out of that poor bastard. Who knows what he was doing before that? He might have been a rocket scientist before he was working at Coles. Who knows? Should have put that on his LinkedIn profile properly. He's also a catalyst who helps you remove roadblocks and mitigate the resistance to change, because there is going to be a fair bit of resistance to this when you first kick off. Anyway, I have to thank Mr. Doherty very much for that piece of content that he created, because it was awesome for me to be able to position myself, improve my USP, create new and better offers, repositioning my message and repositioning your message and position, selling to high value customers and groups, establishing values and culture, public speaking. So it's let me do about 6 items on that $10,000 per hour column just by watching and listening to what he said, what his real problems actually are, which is people, coaches from Coles DMing him on LinkedIn. Take it, use it, make it a great week. If you think you might want help to align your team for Christmas, or another little pilot program that I've got going, it's called the Catalyst Academy. Reach out, you'll figure it out how to get hold of me. Speak soon. This has been the Trouble Mode Coach, and I want to tell you about a new pilot program that I've got starting this month that I think might just be of interest to you. So it's specifically for 2 types of people. Number 1 is you're stuck at a certain level in the construction industry and you can't seem to step up to that next level. Or number 2 is you got the reverse problem like I had, where you get thrown in the deep end and you think, what the am I supposed to do now? How did you get into the position that you're currently in? I'm going to tell you a quick story about how I got most of my career I spent as a construction superintendent. Anyway, digress a little bit. This is how I actually became a superintendent. So I was on a little gold mine down in Bendigo in Victoria, and the superintendent, I was the supervisor at this point in time. I'd actually only just come off the tools. I had a lot of supervisory experience before, but I'd been on the tools on a job in Darwin. Supervisor there really liked me. He brought me down to this job as a supervisor, and one day my superintendent walked up to me and goes, "Hey Bernie." "Yeah, Pete." "I just sacked the construction manager." He said, "I'm the construction manager now," and he said, "You're now superintendent." I went, "That's great, Pete. Appreciate your confidence in me." But I said, "What the does superintendent do?" So if you're stuck stepping up to that next level, or you've been thrown in the deep end like I was, he looked at me, I'll never forget these words. He said, "You're a smart boy, you'll figure it out." message me the word sweat more, and what I'll do is I'll send you through a link where you can book in for what's known as a triage chat, which is just a quick 15-minute call where we get together to see if we think we might be a good fit to work together or not. Because as the Spartan Warrior said, if you sweat more in training, you'll bleed less in war. Speak soon.